There are moments in life when everything feels uncertain, when the path you walk is covered in shadows, when the answers you seek don't appear, when your heart feels heavier than your own body can carry. And yet, in the middle of that silence, there is a soft voice that whispers, "You are not alone." Faith doesn't always come as thunder. Sometimes it comes as a quiet reminder that God is still working, even when you cannot see the process. There will be nights when you question your strength, nights when you wonder why certain things happen, why prayers take time to be answered, why the road feels longer than it should. And in those nights, you begin to learn a truth that only faith can teach. God does not always remove the struggle. Sometimes He strengthens your spirit to walk through it. What you call delay may be God calling you to grow. What you call confusion may be God shaping your character. What you call silence may be God preparing something far better than what you asked for. Faith is not about having control. Faith is about finding peace even when you have none. It is choosing to believe that every closed door has purpose, that every setback carries protection, that every tear waters the seeds of the future you cannot see yet. Faith teaches you to breathe in moments when your world feels tight, to let go when holding on begins to hurt, to trust when trusting feels impossible. Because faith is not the absence of fear, it is choosing hope despite the fear. God will take you through places you never planned to go, to bring you to places you were always meant to be. Sometimes He removes people because they could harm you later. Sometimes He protects you by shifting you away from comfort. Sometimes He pushes you into the unknown because your purpose cannot survive in the place where you currently stand. And you may not understand it now, but one day you will look back and whisper with grateful tears, "God, now I see why." Waiting is one of the hardest forms of faith. You wait for healing. You wait for answers. You wait for breakthrough. You wait for a sign that everything will be all right. But waiting is not punishment. Waiting is preparation. Waiting teaches you to develop patience, to deepen resilience, to strengthen your character. Sometimes God slows things down to speed your spirit up, because the version of you who will receive the blessing is not the same version of you who prayed for it. You grow in between. Not every storm comes to destroy. Some storms come to cleanse. You learn who you are in trouble. You learn who truly cares in difficulty. And you learn who God is when everything else falls apart. Storms force you to surrender. Storms teach you humility. Storms remind you that you were never meant to carry life alone. And when the storm clears, you rise, not as who you were before, but as someone stronger, someone wiser, someone who has witnessed God's hand even in the darkest moments. Faith asks you to walk even when you cannot see the road, to take the step before the path appears, to trust that God guides feet that move, not feet that freeze in fear. You may be afraid, you may doubt, you may tremble, but faith is not about being fearless. Faith is about moving while trembling, and believing while questioning, and standing even when you feel like falling. Because God never asked for perfection, only trust. There will be seasons when God feels distant, when your prayers seem unanswered, when the world grows quiet, when your heart asks, "God, are you still there?" But silence is not absence. Silence is space. The space where God works on things you cannot see yet. Just because you don't hear Him doesn't mean He stopped working. Just because you don't feel Him doesn't mean He stepped away. God is closer to you in silence than you realize. One day, when the pieces fall into place, when the pain finds purpose, when the prayers receive answers, you will understand the storms, the tears, the waiting, the silence. Because faith is not about knowing the outcome. Faith is believing that God is good even when the outcome is still unseen. He guided you. He protected you. He carried you. He shaped you. He never left you, and He never will.